The sun shimmered over Willow Grove Lakes late in the morning, illuminating a carefully designed community where conformity wasn't just a suggestion, it was law. Beyond the towering wrought iron gates, identical homes showcased lawns mowed to exact specifications, with decorative flags waving in synchronized patriotic rhythm. To the residents, this strict order symbolized security, stability, and the ultimate suburban achievement. They lived in a cocoon, mostly unaware of dangers more serious than a neighbor choosing an unapproved shade of taupe for their garage door. It was a fragile illusion of perfection, upheld by rigid HOA rules and a collective refusal to acknowledge anything genuinely troubling. At the heart of this facade was Linda, clipboard in hand, her auburn pixie cut flawless. She strode through the neighborhood with the authority of a commander inspecting her battalion. In her mid-50s, Linda viewed herself not just as a homeowner but as the steadfast protector of Willow Grove Lake's purity. Her patrols weren't petty meddling to her, they were towel work, logging small violations, preserving soil harmony, and shielding the community from anything or anyone that didn't belong. This wasn't nosiness, it was her duty, a bulwark against the disorder she imagined creeping just outside their pristine boundaries. Unbeknownst to Linda, beyond the gates stood James Carter, a lean figure radiating a quiet intensity that clashed with the neighborhood's sprinkler hum and wind chime melodies. As a Homeland Security Director, he wasn't there to admire the topiary. He was orchestrating the final phase of a covert mission targeting a domestic terror cell, nestled within this very enclave group suspected of building explosives. To James, the residents' fixation on trivial regulations was laughably irrelevant next to the life and death stakes he managed. His world required precision and secrecy, qualities soon to be challenged by the oblivious bubble within the gates. A clash was unavoidable. As Linda marched toward the entrance, mentally noting minor aesthetic breaches, her gaze caught on the man by a sleek black SUV. He stood motionless, exuding an energy that didn't fit Willow Grove Lake's mold. Not on his phone, not waiting for anyone, just watching. Suspicion flared in her mind. The pricey car, the sharp clothes that somehow seemed off, the dark sunglasses masking his eyes. Not from here, she decided. Probably scoping out houses. Her self-appointed role as guardian kicked in. She ducked behind a sculpted juniper near the gate, pulling out her phone with practiced urgency. 911, what's your emergency? The operator's voice was steady. Yes, hi, Linda whispered, infusing her tone with urgency. There's a very suspicious man outside Willow Grove Lake's main gate, our gated community. Okay, ma'am, can you describe him? Tall, Linda hissed, peeking through the branches, dark sunglasses, intense vibe, maybe military. He's by a big black SUV, acting like he owns it. He's not from here. I think he's up to something. All right, ma'am, we've got your location. We'll send a unit. Stay back and don't approach him. Oh, of course, Linda replied, buzzing with self-importance. I'll just watch. From his vantage point, James noticed the woman failing to hide behind the bush, phone to her ear. Civilian meddling, he thought, a twinge of irritation breaking his focus. He adjusted his stance, eyes fixed on the mission's critical timeline. He couldn't afford distractions. Linda, however, felt anything but insignificant. Conviwine said she'd sparked a VY-TAL response. She settled into her spot, phone camera poised, eagerly awaiting the police. Her moment of triumph came soon after, marked by the muted flash of red and blue lights. Two cruisers rolled up quietly, their presence stark in the serene setting. Linda emerged from her leafy cover, waving with the authority of a traffic cop. Officers, over here. That's him, she announced, pointing at James, who watched with tired resignation. Her pulse raced. She was safeguarding her community. The officer's a seasoned vet and a rookie approached James cautiously. Sir, we got a call about suspicious behavior or. Can you show some ID? The senior officer asked, hand near his holster. The air grew tense. Before he could finish, James raised the hand calmly, reaching into his jacket with smooth, deliberate precision. He flipped open a leather case. Director James Carter, Homeland Security, he said, his voice steady and commanding. This area is under federal surveillance for national security. Stand down, officers. The effect was instantaneous. The veteran officer paled, recognition dawning, while the rookie looked lost. Linda froze, her smugness crumbling into disbelief. Director? Homeland Security? The tidy label sheet slapped on James shattered. This wasn't some random prowler, it was something bigger. James offered no more explanation, just a glance at Linda that mixed exhaustion, disbelief, and a hint of amusement at the absurdity. He turned back to his SUV as the officers mumbled apologies and retreated, leaving Linda alone on the curb. Shock quickly morphed into defensiveness. Well, she huffed to no one. He didn't look like a director. How was I supposed to know? Suspicious is suspicious. Her world had tilted, and she scrambled to reclaim the narrative. Stung by the brush-off, Linda stormed home. Convine said James's credentials were a ruse. Her neighbors, blissfully unaware, needed warning. From her floral armchair, her digital war room, she unleashed a post on the private Willow Grove HOA forum. Neighborhood alert. Possible shadow agent near main gate. She spun her tale, highlighting James's evasiveness, skipping his DHS reveal, and attaching a blurry photo of his SUV. He dodged questions, said it was federal business. Something's off, folks. Stay sharp. Posting it, she felt a rush of defiance. She was the community's lone truth teller. Miles away, in a Homeland Security Cyberwatch hub, Linda's post triggered alerts. Systems flagged agent, federal, and surveillance, tying them to the operation zone. Analysts traced it to Linda Morrow, now tagged as Level 2 Local Interference. Her digital footprint, IP, social media, contact became part of James's mission. A coded message hit his secure device CIVY Lien interference escalating online. Subject Morrow posted details photo. Local buzz growing. Possible outside interest. James sighed. This was the mess he'd hoped to avoid. Acknowledge, he replied. Passive surveillance on Morrow. Log contacts. Assess fallout before acting. Linda had just upgraded from annoyance to wildcard, amplifying a situation that demanded silence. Then came worse news via encrypted channels. Their target, Paul Grayson, a quiet resident 3 doors from Linda, wasn't just tinkering, might be plotting an attack at the upcoming 4th of July mixer. With Linda's spotlight risking exposure, James acted fast. Intercept tonight, he ordered his team. Delays too risky. As his agents blended into the suburb posing as exterminators, chatty parents near the clubhouse, Linda rallied her own troops. Convine said James was a threat. She called an emergency HOA meeting on the clubhouse lawn that evening, unwittingly placing herself next to the takedown zone. Her mission, unite the neighborhood against the mysterious SUV man. Dusk fell, painting the lawns in soft oranges and purples. Folding chairs scraped the patio as residents gathered, intrigued or worried. James watched from his darkened SUV as his team positioned themselves. Right on cue, Paul Grayson strolled out to check his mail. A sedan pulled up, passing him a small, heavy package with another trigger component. Clean, quick, almost dull. But Linda, scanning her crowd, spotted James's silhouette. There he is again, she shouted, pointing. The one I warned you about. Heads turned, phone cameras meant for HOA notes swung toward James, accidentally catching Paul as he slipped away with the package. Startled by the attention, Paul bolted, clutching the package, racing for a back gate. He's running, someone yelled. Move now. James barked into his comms. Chaos erupted, agents surged, residents screamed, chairs toppled. In the fray, a burner phone slipped from Paul's pocket, landing unseen in a rose bush's shadow. Seconds later, an agent tackled him just beyond the gate, securing the package. Silence fell over the stunned HOA crowd. Linda, reeling, reframed it instantly. Her alertness had exposed the danger, even if the culprit wasn't who she'd thought. By morning, Linda's shock hardened into convy tie-in. I told you something was wrong, she crowed in an HOA voice note. That takedown proves I spot trouble. You're welcome, Willow Grove. She ignored that James led the operation, not the crime. Emboldened, she printed flyers, take back our neighborhood. Join the Willow Guard. Featuring a blurry shot of herself pointing at the gate. She handed them out zealously, reactions ranging from grim nods to awkward retreats. Reports of her Willow Guard reached James's command post and added headache. Not a direct threat like the terrorists, but her rumor-stoked posse risked unpredictability in a mission still seeking that burner phone and Paul's accomplices. Linda, riding her perceived VY Tory, hijacked the 4th of July mixer, declaring it freedom from fear. The lawn bloomed with streamers, grills, and tension. For James, it was a risk and a chance. A missing phone was a gap, and a second courier might use the chaos for a drop. At 6 o'clock, Linda grabbed the mic, her speech veering from recycling rules to shadowy figures in SUVs. Mid her kazoo rendition of Yankee Doodle, James spotted a man with a bulky backpack slipping toward a Servoy gate. Dropping his lemonade, he signaled his team and tackled the man. Screams broke out. Linda, outraged, charged over with orange zip ties from her capris. "I'm making a citizen's arrest," she yelled, trying to restrain James. "You're out of control." For an absurd moment, she hindered him, but another agent pinned the courier, revealing drone tech and data drive visa breakthrough amid the patriotic chaos. The mixer's fallout went viral. A shaky VY suburban mom tries to zip-tie Homeland Security Director at HOA barbecue. Exploded online. Zip-tie Linda trended, memes flew, and she embraced it, hosting a Facebook Live to thank patriots for seeing her stand. For DHS, it was a disaster, exposing tactics drawing extremist eyes. Linda's earlier phishing clicks had even leaked low-level op data. She'd gone from nuisance to security risk. Days later, federal agents knocked. "Linda Morrow, we're here with a warrant," one said, listing charges tied to misinformation and interference. They seized her devices as she shrieked about rights in her HOA role. Support in Willow Grove vanished, lawsuits and an HOA ban followed. In court, James testified coolly, the EVY Denke VY Deos posts logs damning. Linda's defense faltered. She got probation, internet curbs, and an HOA ban nationwide. Outside the courthouse, fame gone, Linda sat hollow. James sat briefly beside her. "I didn't mean trouble," she rasped. "I thought I was right." "I know," he said quietly. "That's the issue." He left her with her silent clipboard. Weeks later, at a calm town hall, he thanked real helpers, DRI vying past a new sign. No unauthorized surveillance. No zip ties. From her window, Linda watched Union VY Ted. Her wind chimed still, facing the wreckage of her certainty alone.